Shalom, 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 shalom. Most High bless, Most High bless. This is your brothers, Yehuda, Timothy, Jacob, Yehuda ben Isaiah, Qanath, and Howard. We're about to go into a lesson, and before we go on lesson, let me say this. A few announcements. 7 o'clock, we're going live with the brother Malachi Maccabees. And he's going to be explaining himself on what his understanding is on eating meat and not eating meat according to the Bible, and his understanding and more. So please tune in at 7 o'clock because he's going to take questions on anything. He don't care what it is. He's going to take questions on it. You know, there's a lot of stuff being said. So the brother is going to rectify it, you know, and we're not going to take no sides on it. We let the brother speak and get his side of it out. And at the end of the day, the Most High will be a judge, not us, you know. Also, I put up a video. A sister I know, she interviewed me. It's a very good video. We'll put it up probably tomorrow or later on tonight, if possible. Most High bless Lima, Star, everybody that's on, that's watching. Can we please start getting some likes up? Because I know that sometimes we have 800-900 views or 1,000 views, and sometimes 100 likes. I'm like, what's going on? You know, oh no, I see a brother on here because let him know a lesson. Okay, I think that's a brother I told. Most High bless. So oh, that's Willie Bully. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna do a lesson on this. So this basically this is just a lesson. We need readers on for this right here. But 7 o'clock is gonna be the thing with the brother Malachi Maccabees coming on, Willie. So yeah, that's what he's coming on at 7 o'clock. We're just doing a lesson right here on Genesis 30 and 31, where a lot of groups use this to say, see, Israel is speckled and spotted. And we already broke down the speckled and spotted with another scripture, I think it's Proverbs. Already broke that down, let everybody know what that meant. It was talking about the inheritance. And Christ don't want nothing speckled and spotted.
Exactly.
You know, be speckled and
have nothing to do
with
how a race of people looks. Nothing.
Nothing, you know. So I mean, all of us on here different complexions. That's crazy. So yeah, so we about to go. Yehuda's gonna go in class on doing this. I finally went to storage and got a lot of my books, man. All praise to the Most High. I will stand around and show you all my books I would have got that I usually use to help me with some of my studies in prayer. So, but yeah, so we're gonna go in that. Bros, y'all want to introduce yourself before Yehuda go into these scriptures?
Oh yeah, man. I'm me, aka Mashayach, on the Willie Billy, and you know, just came in for a little edification, and you know, lending a helping hand wherever we need to.
All right, hallelujah. Thank you, brother. Hallelujah. And yeah, we appreciate it. Appreciate it. Most High bless.
We appreciate it, Willie Bully, coming up here, joining the brothers, fellowshipping with the brothers, and reading scripture with us, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we do. Yeah. So Yehuda's going to go in, and this is Yehuda lesson class. Yehuda been doing a lot of lessons late, man, and all praises, brother. All praises.
Coming out like I was telling you, I have literally maybe 80 folders or lessons that I haven't even touched.
I believe it. I believe it. I tell you, we be talking about man, Yehuda. Hey, Yehuda, what time we be up in the morning going over scriptures?
Late 1, 2, 3 in the morning sometimes. Who knows? Who knows?
and then at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, Yehuda call me, then we right back at it again.
Right back at it. Yep.
So I already went over this lesson with Yehuda already. So
right.
But,
right.
let's get it started. Yehuda, Most High bless. Most High bless. Most High bless. Let's get it started. Where you want us to go? Tim, you can start.
Right. As we all know, this folly, right? According to Genesis 30:31, or they say it talks about the cattle, Laban and Jacob. So the people the sons of Jacob, they came out looking different because of the cattle. I said, what the crazy, man. Unbelievable. I mean, they thought patterns like, are these guys really thinking? I mean, they're just coming out their ass with all kinds of stuff. Well, so what we're going to do, right? We're going to go to Genesis 30. Timothy, pick up at verse 25.
Verse 25.
Yes, sir.
Genesis 30, verse 25. And it came to pass when Rachel had born Joseph that Jacob said unto Laban, send me away that I may go unto my own place.
Okay, now at this time, right? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. And to my own country, right? So at this time, Joseph was just born. So my question is this here: if Joseph was just born, right? How old was Reuben and Simeon and Levi and Judah? If Joseph was just born right here, how old was Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah? Were they little boys at this time, or were they grown men? Anybody know?
They were grown men.
There was grown men.
Right. Very grown men. Very grown men. Yeah.
Right. In fact, I want to touch on something real quick. Let me back up real fast here. Bear with me for a second. Go ahead and talk a little bit, Qanath. I want to go to this chapter real fast.
Yeah. So they was very grown men. I'm assuming you might show their age, but the reason why we brought this out because a lot of brothers use this to say this is dealing with the skin color, speckled, spotted, like they did the speckled bird. Now they're trying to use this as also speckled sheep. The reason why people look a certain way,
right?
It's asinine, very obtuse, and this is even if you don't know or of Satan, if you don't know or is of Satan, that's the only thing I can think. I don't know how else you can get around, saying these type of things, but.
In fact, we're going to read real quick. We're going to back up here, dealing with Rachel, real quick, and Leah. And the reason why I'm doing this is to show people the ages of Reuben. In fact, read Timothy, read verse 14, Genesis 30, verse 14.
This is Genesis 14. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest and found mandrakes in the field,
right,
and brought to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrake.
Right, and the reason why, because at this time Rachel could not conceive. Remember, she was trying to conceive and have children, right? So she wanted these mandrakes. The mandrakes is a plant also used for as a fertility plant to help women conceive. So she wanted the plant, but the key is this here. Reuben was a grown man. He was a grown man. He was working in the field. So when we back up now to dealing with Joseph, Joseph was born in verses 27. When Joseph was born, Reuben, Levi, Judah, Simeon, some of Jacob's other sons, they was grown men. I just want people to see this, right? So pick back up and read verse 28 now. Genesis 30, verse 28.
Okay. This is Genesis 30, 28. He said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. Verse 29.
In fact, Timothy, that's my fault. Read verse 27. Verse 27.
You sure you don't want me to start?
No, read verse 27. Genesis 30, verse 27.
Okay. This is Genesis 30, verse 27. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord have blessed me for thy sake.
Now, because Jacob wanted to leave after working all these years, right? And we know that he worked for who? He worked for Rachel and he worked for Leah. And we know that the story that Laban tricked Jacob, right? After he worked 7 years, I think it was 14 years for Rachel or something like that. He tricked Jacob, and he brought in Leah that night to sleep with Jacob, and Jacob thinking that he's sleeping with Rachel. So the next day he realized he got tricked. This also plays into the story. He realized he got tricked by Laban, right? Right? So he says, so basically that's why Laban says here, verse 27, and Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord has blessed me for thy sake, because he realized that he has been blessed and accumulated much cattle because of Jacob. Read verse 28.
Verse 28, and he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it.
Appoint me now. Here's the thing. Laban tricked Jacob many times and deceived Jacob. Now he got the nerve to tell Jacob, after all these years, appoint me, let me know, Jacob, what you want me to do, and I'll pay you. But after all these years, he wasn't paying Jacob nothing. Okay, so he said to Jacob in a flattering, phony way, as if Jacob was blessed because of him. Okay, or if Jacob prospered because of him, when it was the other way around. Whatever blessing come through Jacob, you will receive. You have to understand that Laban was a diviner. Okay, Laban was a diviner, a soothsayer. He was someone who foretells the future also. A lot of people don't know this, right? And try to manipulate people. This was the attitude and the personality of Laban. This was the personality of Laban. In fact, go to Genesis 31 real quick. Hold your spot right there. Go to Genesis 31. Excuse me. Read verse 19. Laban was a soothsayer, and he was kind of a diviner, and he was known to manipulate people and deceive people. Go to Genesis 31, read verse 19.
This Genesis 31, verse 19. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's.
Rachel stole the images, right? And this is when God told Jacob to get up and leave Laban and take his sons and all the cattle that he had gotten and take his wives and go to Canaan. So Rachel stole the images that was of her father's. She took them. She didn't take them because she wanted them. She took them for a reason. And you will soon see. Let's back up now to Genesis 30. Read verse 28 one more time.
Verse 28. And he said, appoint me thy wages, and I will give it.
Okay, read verse 29.
Verse 29. And he said unto him, thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me.
So Jacob said, you know all this time how I served you, and I made your cattle grow. Because Jacob did all the work by keeping Laban's cattle. He did all the work. Read verse 30.
Verse 30. For it was little which thou hast before I came.
Stop. He says, for when I first arrived, Laban, you hardly had any cattle at all. Because of me, Laban, your flock grew. Because of me. Go ahead, continue.
And it is now increased unto a multitude.
Increase, right? Because of me, Laban, not you, Laban. Go ahead.
And Yahweh have blessed thee since my coming. And now when shall I provide for mine own house also?
So now Jacob is telling Laban, I have worked for you all these years. So now it's time for me to leave and provide for my own house. I have worked for you all these years, but I have gotten nothing out of it. The only thing I gotten out of working for you all these years is my sons and my wives, but I haven't got paid no wages whatsoever. Right? And Laban agreed. In fact, read verse 31.
Verse 31. And he said, shall I give thee? And Jacob, thou shalt not give me anything if thou wilt do this thing for me. I will feed and keep thy flock.
Right. Stop. Jacob said, after all these years, Laban, you haven't paid me nothing. So now why do I want something from you? No, I tell you what, Laban. Now Jacob is about to flip the script on Laban. And God also flipped the script on Laban, as you will soon see. The Lord also flipped the script on Laban. So Jacob said, what shall I give thee? Laban said, what shall I give thee? And Jacob said, thou shalt not give me anything. He said, if thou wilt do this thing for me, he said, I will again keep and feed your flock. Right? So Laban agreed and went and straight away to do, but watch this though. In fact, read verse 32.
Verse 32. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing all the speckled and spotted cattle and all brown cattle among the sheep. And
what? Timothy, you still there?
What verse you on?
Verse 32. It's like he broke up. He stopped. I don't hear him no more. It's like he's breaking up.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now. You broke up.
Go ahead. Read verse 32 one more time.
And I will pass through all thy today, removing from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle.
Right.
And all the cattle among the sheep. And the speckled among the goats. Shall be my hire.
Shall be my hire. So basically, Laban said that I will pass through and remove all the speckled cattle and the spotted cattle and the brown cattle. I will leave you the white ones. I will leave you the ones that's white. I'm gonna take all the speckled looking ones and the ones that spotted looking ones and the brown looking ones. Read verse 33.
Verse 33. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face. Everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. So he's telling Laban, I'm going to go through all your flock and I'm going to remove all the speckled and spotted cattle and all these cattle. And he says, if it says, and everyone that is not, he said, everyone that is not speckled or spotted among the goats and the brown among the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. Right? So he's saying, I'm an honest man. I'm going to keep my word. But let's see what Laban said. Verse 34. Verse 34. And Laban said, behold, I would it might be according to thy word. But watch this. Laban agreed, right? But he went straightway to do Jacob injustice, deceitfully, okay, by removing all the speckled cattle first. And all right. So to beat Jacob to it, he removed all the speckled cattle. Read verse 35. Verse 35. And he removed that day. Go ahead. Go ahead. The he goats that were ring straked and spotted, and all the she goats that were speckled and spotted. Yep. And everyone that has some white in it. And everyone that has some white in it. He removed all the same cattle that Jacob said I would keep for you, or I would take for myself. These cattle I would take for myself.
He went behind Jacob's back and removed all those cattle that were speckled and spotted. He removed them. Read verse 36.
Verse 36. And he said 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob. And Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks.
You see that? So basically, so Jacob removed all the speckled and spotted cattle, right? And then told, not Jacob, I'm sorry, Laban, he went behind Jacob's back and removed all the speckled and spotted cattle. And then he told his sons to take the cattle a 3 days' journey from where Jacob was. So he had his sons remove the cattle and told his sons to take the cattle away. So Jacob would not see those cattle. You see how deceitfully Laban was? Now, what this got to do with, what does have to do with people skin color? Nothing. This don't have nothing to do.
Damn thing, bro.
You see,
nothing.
You're gonna see what God, the story and the punchline of what's going on with Jacob and Laban, right? So one more time, Jacob told him, "Listen, I go through all your flock. I remove all the ones that speckled looking, the spotted looking ones. I remove all those cattle." So Laban agreed. Now after he agreed, but here's the thing: he agreed deceitfully, because right after that he went right behind Jacob's back and removed all those cattle, and then told his sons to take these cattle for a 3 days journey away from Jacob. Now, if that ain't wicked, I don't know what wicked is, bro. So Jacob basically, excuse me, he cared for the rest of Laban's flocks. He cared for the flocks. Read verse 37.
Verse 37. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar.
Stop. Rods of green poplar. Go to Hosea 14:13. So we can see what that is. Jacob took rods of green poplar. Go to Hosea chapter 4. Excuse me. When you get there, read verse 13.
Hosea chapter what again?
Chapter 4. Verse 13.
13.
Uh-huh.
They sacrifice upon the tops. Hold up, let me get it.
Those are rods right there, folks. That what Jacob used. You're gonna see what he used them for. Right there. You see them, Qanath?
Yeah, I see him. I got my mic on.
You see those speckled cattle? You see them? Let me show you something else real fast as I'm scrolling here. You see this ram, the speckled ram, right? You see these cattle? Look at the 4 horns they got there.
Why they look human? Why they're supposed to be human beings?
Right, but exactly. But here's the thing, though, Qanath. Why they got 4 horns like that? These cattle, these sheep. Why these sheep got 4 horns and spotted? You will soon see. You know what they call these sheep? They call these Jacob sheep. That's what they call them today, Qanath.
Right.
They call these Jacob sheep. In fact, hold your spot. Go ahead. Go to read Hosea. Go read Hosea. I'm gonna show you something real fast. Go read Hosea. Hosea 4 and 13. Timothy, real quick.
This is Hosea 4 and 13. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills.
Right.
Under oaks and poplars.
See? And poplar, that's the tree. The poplar is the tree. Right now, let me show you guys something real quick here. Let me see here. If I can pull it up here. I'm gonna show you something. Look at that. You see what that's called? Those called Jacob sheep. You know why those sheep got horns? Look at them sheep. Them sheep got horns like rams. Why do these sheep got horns like rams? But they call these Jacob sheep. You see that?
That's the horns they used to make chauffeurs out of, huh?
No, but my question is, why do these sheep got horns like that? You know what they call these sheep? Qanath, they brought these sheep back to Israel. They call these Jacob sheep.
Jacob sheep.
They believe many scientists and many farmers that specialize in this. They believe that these sheep came from Jacob, because Jacob bred sheep, and you're going to see as we continue. You see, look at those sheep. Look how weird they look. They got some of them got 4 horns. See, they brought back a flock 119 of them. But I just want to show you guys that many scientists believe and biblical scholars believe that those sheep was the ones that Jacob bred. That he bred it. Let's continue now. Read verse 37 one more time.
This is Genesis
37.
37?
Yeah, Genesis 30, verse 37.
Okay, this is Genesis 30, verse 37. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar and of the hazel and chestnut tree,
right,
and peeled white streaks in them.
Right, and he peeled the white streaks in them, meaning he peeled back, folks, the bark inside those rods. He peeled back the bark to show the white in the bark, the white. So the whole rod became white. He peeled them back, like peeling back a banana peel. That's what Jacob did to these barks. Go ahead, continue.
And made the white appear.
See,
which was in,
go ahead.
Which was in the rods.
Which was in the rods. So he made the whites appear. So these rods became white, right? Go ahead, verse 38.
Verse 38. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutters in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they came to drink.
You see that? So he placed these rods that he peeled back and became white, and he says, and he put these rods in gutters of watering troughs. Troughs is with where the troughs is where the rams and the animals came to drink. Then the goats, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive, meaning mate. They made it and conceived when they came to drink. Right? So read verse 39.
Verse 39. And the flocks conceived before the rods.
Meaning the white rods, those white rods that he peeled back and made them white, the flocks conceived before those rods. Go ahead.
And brought forth cattle, ring-streaked, speckled, and spotted.
But how did they bring forth ring-streaked and speckled and spotted cattle when Laban told his sons to take all the speckled and spotted cattle and take them away? So how did that happen? How did Jacob do that? How did Jacob breed these cattle? You'll soon see. Go ahead, read verse 40.
And Jacob did separate the lambs and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring straight, and all the brown in flock of Laban. All the brown in the flock of Laban, and he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle.
He put them not into Laban's cattle. So Jacob then separated those lambs from Laban's flock. And it said, excuse me, and at mating time, he turned the flock to face Laban's animals that were streaked or black or brown, right? And he put his own flock by themselves. This is how he increased his flock. This is how Laban, I'm sorry, not Laban. Jacob increased his flock. Read verse 41.
Verse 41. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive among the rods.
So it says, as the stronger cattle, in verse 41, as the stronger cattle conceived or mated, Jacob laid those white rods that he took from the bark and peeled the barks back to make them white. He placed those white rods before their eyes, that they might mate among them, right? Or near those white peeled rods. That's what happened. Read verse 42.
Verse 42. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger were Jacob's.
So he did not put the feeble cattle in, right? He did not put them near those white rods and water troughs, right? Read verse 43.
Verse 43. And the man increased exceedingly and had much cattle and maidservants and men servants and camels and asses.
Now, how did he increase these cattle though? And how did they become speckled and spotted and what you call it, ring streaked? When Laban told his sons to take all those cattle away before Jacob went through the flock, before Jacob had the opportunity to go through the flock, he told his sons to take those cattle away. So how did these cattle start to produce and become speckled and spotted looking? How did Jacob do that? Do me a favor, go to Genesis 31, read verse 4.
What verse?
Let's go to Genesis 31, read verse 4. Genesis 31, verse 4.
This is Genesis 31, verse 4. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock. So
Jacob called Rachel and Leah privately because Jacob was fed up with what their father was doing to him. He knew he was being deceived by his father, and his father was getting by and using him deceitfully. So he called Rachel and Leah, and they had a private conversation. Read verse 5.
Verse 5. And said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before.
He told Rachel and Leah, I see the countenance of your father. Now he don't look upon me the way he used to look upon me. I can see he look upon me with envy now. He look upon me with a little hatred now. I can see it in his face. We can see when somebody is looking upon us with a countenance, right? We can see it.
Right.
With an envy, a little jealousy, a little hatred. We can see it easily. So Jacob now he can see what's going on, right? In fact, hold your spot. Go to Proverbs and read Proverbs 28, read verse 22. He says, he told Leah and Rachel, I can see the countenance of your father. Now he don't look upon me the way he used to. He look upon me with envy now. And the reason why, because Jacob's flock was increasing. God was increasing his flock. But at the same time, God was decreasing Laban's flocks. Because Laban was a deceitful man. Right. He also was a diviner. A lot of people don't know that. He was a deceitful man. Go to Proverbs 28, read verse 22.
This is Proverbs 28, verse 22. He that hasteth to be rich has an evil eye.
He that hastened to be rich have a what?
Evil eye.
An evil eye. Laban was hastening to be rich, folks. He was using Jacob to get rich. But God had another plan because Jacob was righteous and Laban was not. Go back to Genesis 31, read verse 6.
This is Genesis chapter 31, verse 6. And you know that with all my power I have served your father.
He said, you know with all my power, Rachel and Leah, I have how I have served your father. I have served your father all these years, and you know I'm not lying, Rachel and Leah. You know I'm not lying. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. If he said thus, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ringstake shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ringstake.
So you know what happened? God turned the tables on Laban.
Exactly.
So what happened is Jacob ended up raising these street and speckled and spotted looking cattle, but God increased these cattle abundantly.
Right.
Left Laban with hardly nothing. That's what happened. So it says one more time in verse 8. If he said to me, meaning he's telling Rachel and Leah, if your father said to me, the speckled cattle is your wages, then all the cattle bore those cattle, or produce speckled or spotted, etc., then all the cattle produce spotted. And if he said ring streak cattle or ring streak cattle shall be your wages, then all the cattle bore ring streak cattle. Why? Because God made those cattle increase. God made the speckled and spotted and ring streak cattle multiply abundantly for Jacob's sake. That's what happened, folks. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Thus Yahweh have taken away the cattle of your father.
He said, see, that's why these cattle produce abundantly, because God has taken away. Read that one more time. God has taken away what?
Thus Yahweh have taken away the cattle of your father.
Go ahead, continue.
And given them to me.
And given them to me. Because your God, because Laban was greedy, your father was greedy in the beginning and used me, and I worked for Rachel for like how many years? He worked for Rachel? 7 years, I think.
7 years.
I worked for Rachel. Then he tricked me, and I had to work another 7 years.
14 in total.
And then he tricked me again when I told him I would go through the cattle and take all the spotted ones and leave him the white ones. He took all those cattle away from me. But God has another plan, right? That's what going. In fact, go to Genesis 31, read verse 9. Back up and read verse. Not verse 9, verse 1. Verse 1. Back all the way up. Read verse 1. Genesis 31.
Genesis 31:1. And he heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob have taken away all that was our father's.
Right.
And of that which was our father's have he gotten all this glory.
You see that? No, that's good. So it says Jacob heard what Laban's son was saying, how Jacob has taken away all that was of their father. See, now you go back to verse 9, what it says in verse 9, thus God has taken away the cattle of your father and given to me. That's why Laban's sons was looking upon Jacob with a different countenance in their faces also.
Yeah, but that was Jacob's fault, though.
Huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't Jacob's fault, though. Laban was being deceptive.
It was being deceptive. It was not Jacob's fault. Now his sons are looking on Jacob the same way. They're looking at Jacob with envy now. They're looking at him the same way. This had nothing to do with how people look. Okay, but the question is now, how did God take away the cattle from Laban and give them to Jacob? Right? Jacob continues to tell Rachel and Leah how it happened after calling for a private conversation, right, with them near the flocks. Right? In fact, read verse 10, Genesis 31, verse 10. He continues to tell them how it happened. Read verse 10.
Right. Verse 10. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-streaked, speckled, and bristled.
So remember now, it's like it good now. Remember, Laban took all the speckled and spotted cattle away from Jacob before Jacob even had the opportunity to walk through the flock and choose those cattle, right? So if Laban left only the white looking cattle, how did all these cattle come to be spotted looking, right? Jacob just told us in verse 10. Read it one more time, verse 10. He just told us how it happened.
And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived.
When the time with the cattle, let me stop you right there. When it was time for the cattle to conceive, to mate. Go ahead, continue.
That I lifted up mine eyes.
Go ahead.
And saw in a dream. And behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle.
The rams that leaped upon the cattle. That's why you see those goats I was showing you earlier with those horns. They look weird. That's why they're called Jacob's cattle. the ram leaped upon those white sheep and everything that was left behind and produced those spotted looking ones. That's what happened. The rams leaped upon them. Go ahead. Matter of fact, let me go back here. Okay, go ahead.
Which leaped upon the cattle were ring straight, speckled, and gristled.
You see? You want to say something, Qanath? Or anybody?
No, I'm listening. Because when you finish, I got some verses myself. Go ahead.
Okay. You got anything to say, Timothy?
No, sir.
Is it now? You guys can see what's going on.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what happened. Because, like I said, when Laban deceitfully had his sons take away those cattle, even before Jacob had an opportunity to walk.
Let me say this real quick.
Go ahead.
Like, so nah, basically,
man, I'm not no elder, man. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
So basically, the Most High had already showed Jacob in a dream. He revealed it to him already what he was about.
Exactly. He revealed to Jacob how these cattle was going to produce spotted and speckled and spot and ring street. He showed him in a dream.
Yep.
He said the ram's going to come, right, and mate with these plain looking white sheep and produce these speckled looking, weird looking flocks. I show you the pictures. They got 4 horns and stuff. These sheep. That's what they look like. That's why they call Jacob's cattle. Even to today, they call Jacob's cattle. They didn't look like that. No, what sheep?
Yehuda and Timmy, let me ask y'all a question.
Go ahead.
Y'all sure that's not talking about the Chinese man, the Arab man, the Spanish man, and the black man with them sheep?
They ain't this ain't saying nothing about no races of people yet. They're talking about cattle.
Exactly. Now what cattle or what sheep that look like what I just showed y'all? You know why those sheep look like that? Because those rams was mating with them. That's why they look like that. That's why they look spotted and speckled with those horns and two horns sticking up and 4 horns sticking on the side. That's why they look the way they look. Read verse 10 one more time, Timothy. Last time, verse 10, one more time.
Verse 10.
Now you're going to see how those white sheep that was left for Jacob to take care of, how they start looking the way they look.
And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring straight, speckled, and gristled.
So the rams that leaped upon the cattle was ring straight, speckled, and griddle. Let me show y'all that type of ram he just spoke about. You see that ram that's ring straight and spotted? That's what that ram looked like. That leaped upon those white cattle that Jacob was taking care of and reproduced those cattle on spotted and speckled. This is the ram right here that leaped upon them. Okay. Read verse 11.
Verse 11. And the angel
before that, one last thing. So the angel was telling Jacob what the speckled and spotted ram that I just showed you guys was doing and why. Because he's now going to start producing these speckled looking animals. Because remember, Jacob was left with the white sheep, etc. After Laban told his sons to take away those spotted animals, right? He was left with the white. So now the angel is telling Jacob what's going to happen. Read verse 11.
Verse 11. And the angel of Yahweh spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here am I.
Now remember, Jacob is still telling Rachel and Leah how it happened. He explaining to them the whole situation. Read verse 12.
Verse 12. And he said, lift up now thine eyes and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle.
Oh, wait a minute. All the rams, this is the ram right here, the speckled ram that leaped upon the cattle and leaped upon those white cattle. You see how God works? God will turn the tables on you, bro. Go ahead.
Real quick.
Read it one more time. Verse 12.
Verse 12. And he said, lift up now thine eyes and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring straight. Right? And gristle.
That's the ram right there, folks. That leaped upon those white pure cattle that Jacob left for Laban. But Laban was so evil, Laban took all the spotted and speckled cattle away from Jacob. Jacob did not even have a chance to go through the cattle. But like I said, God has a way of doing things. He has a way of getting back at people. He has his own way.
He has a way, right?
He has his own way of getting back at people.
Vengeance is mine.
What was that, Timothy?
I said that's why he say vengeance is mine. He got his own way
His own way. So all the speckled rams which ye saw in a vision leaping upon the cattle to multiply, Jacob, even more speckled and spotted, the street cattle for you for your wages. Jacob, God's going to pay you for your wages, Jacob. That's owed to you because I have seen all that Laban unjustly and selfishly done to you and deceitfully. I have seen all he had done to you.
Right.
Read, in fact, read verse 13.
Verse 13. I am Yahweh of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowedest a vow unto me. Now arise. Say again?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Arise, get thee out from this land and return unto the land of thy kindred.
So now God is telling Jacob to get out of the land where Laban was and return. Do me a favor. Read the last sentence one more time in verse 12. The last sentence in verse 12. What did God tell Jacob? Go ahead.
For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee.
God said, I saw all that wickedness he did to you, Jacob. I saw Jacob when you first came to his house, Jacob, that he had no cattle, and I saw how you helped raise this cattle, Jacob, and I saw how he constantly deceived you, constantly. Jacob, God, I saw what he did to you unjustly. Matter of fact, go to Proverbs 28, read verse 22 one more time. Timothy, Proverbs 20. While you getting there, one more time, folks. So now God is paying Jacob back his wages that was owed to him because he's seen what Laban done to Jacob unjustly, deceitfully. Yeah, Proverbs 28:22.
This is Proverbs 28, verse 22. And he that hasteth to be rich hath an evil eye, and considereth.
Go ahead.
And considereth not that poverty shall come upon him.
That poverty what shall come upon who?
Shall not, he considereth not that poverty shall come upon him.
Read that one more time, Timothy. That's a strong verse. Read that one more time.
Yeah.
Verse 22. One more time, Proverbs.
He that hasteth to be rich.
Those that quickly want to be rich and get over people deceitfully. Go ahead, Timothy.
Hath an evil eye.
They have an evil eye, just like as we just read with Laban and his sons. They had a what towards Jacob? Qanath.
Evil eye.
They started having an evil eye towards him. Go ahead.
And considereth not.
Go ahead.
That poverty shall come upon him.
Guess what happened? God turned the tables on Laban, and Laban became poor. Jacob left rich and left Laban with nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
All right, the evil eye, because the evil eye is a sin, folks. The evil eye is a sin. It shows in your countenance. It shows in your face. Jacob saw the evil countenance towards him from his uncle Laban and his cousins. His son, Laban's son, was Jacob's cousins, right? So God intervened and rewarded Jacob. Listen to your brother Yehuda good. God intervened and rewarded Jacob his due wages while making his uncle poor in return. Because of Laban's greed and unjustly action towards Jacob, God plundered Laban in return, just as he did to the Egyptians. In fact, go to Genesis 31, read verse 9 one more time. Genesis 31, verse 9.
This is Genesis 31, verse 9. Thus Yahweh have taken away the cattle of your father and given them to me.
God made me rich now, made you poor, just as you just read in Proverbs 28:22. Right? In fact, go to Proverbs 13, read verse 22. Proverbs 13, verse 22. Yeah, Proverbs 13, verse 22.
This is Proverbs 13, verse 22.
Yeah.
A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children.
Uh-huh.
And the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just.
You see that? You see that, Qanath?
Yeah, I saw that. I got a call. Yep, I saw.
A wealthy sinner, and it basically says this here, folks, in Proverbs 13:22. A wealthy sinner inherited even to his children will be taken away from them, just as the inheritance of Laban was taken away from his sons. That's why they was looking at Jacob with an evil eye. And given to the just, right? And given, we're almost done too, and given to the just. In fact, let's go to we're almost done too. Cool now. It won't be too much longer.
All right, I got some scriptures too. So go ahead.
See, that's why Laban's son had a bad countenance towards Jacob, as we read in Genesis 31, verses 1 and 2. In fact, let's go to the book of Exodus real quick. Exodus 12, read verse 36. In fact, read verse 35 and 36. Exodus 12, verse 35 and 36. Because just as Jacob left as a wealthy man and left Laban with nothing, as God left Laban with nothing because of his greed and because of his selfishness and deceitfulness, the Israelites plundered Egypt and left also with riches. So go to Exodus 12, read verse 35, 36.
This is Exodus 12, verse 35. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses. And they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. Verse 36. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. So they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians.
They did what to the Egyptians?
Spoiled the Egyptians.
Just as Jacob spoiled his uncle Laban and took all the cattle and left them with hardly nothing. That's the same thing happened with the Israelites coming out of Egypt. That's why the Ark of the Covenant was made out of gold, because of all the gold they spoiled Egyptians when they left Egypt. In fact, go to Genesis. Exodus 25, read verse 11, real quick. Exodus 25, verse 11. That's why they had all the gold. Where did they get the gold from to make the gold Ark of the Covenant from? They got it from when they came out of Egypt.
Yep.
When they spoiled the Egyptians.
This is Exodus 25
and 11.
Verse
11.
And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold.
You see?
Within and without shalt thou overlay it.
You see? So God ordained it that the Israelites were paid for their free labor as slaves. So he allowed Jacob and blessed Jacob to reap the benefits of his labor owed to him from his uncle Laban. That's what happened. God had Jacob spoil Laban of cattle just as he did to the Egyptians. because God hates to treat put it this way, God hate when a person deceive someone and try to get rich off somebody. He can't stand somebody like that, an unjust person. You know, one who tried to get over people, like these One West camp leaders making their members pay tithes. Come on. And they no Levite priests. How the hell are you gonna be making somebody pay you tithes and they don't work? See, these niggas are Laban. That's what they are. They the Laban of the Bible. They the Labans of the Bible. They don't even work. It's crazy, man. Now let's go deal with Rachel and Leah complaint. Let's see what Rachel and Leah said. Go back to Genesis 31, Timothy, read verse 14.
I'm going back.
These niggas are Laban, bro. They modern day Labans. That's what they are. They spoil you. They spoil you their own people. They're robbing their own people deceitfully, off of false teachings. You don't think they're gonna have to answer for that, Qanath, when they die and close their eyes for good? You don't think they're gonna have to answer to all those demons in Sheol dragging their asses over to the left hand side? When they close their eyes, God forbid, some of them may die tonight, not tonight, but before the year's over. Who knows? We don't know when we're gonna go.
Nobody knows.
You don't think they're gonna have to answer for that? Or they're not gonna have to answer for that?
You gonna answer?
Hey, we're about to finish up.
I'm almost done. Genesis 31, verse 14.
Okay.
This is Genesis chapter 31, verse 14. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion of inheritance for us in our father's house?
Now watch this. Now, now Rachel and Leah is agreeing with Jacob. After Jacob told them all that happened, now they're agreeing with him. Read that one more time, verse 14.
And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house?
Right. Where is our inheritance? Now we see what he's talking about, Jacob. Read verse 15.
Verse 15. Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us and have quite devoured also our money.
They said, have we become strangers to our own father? Meaning this here, folks, he treated them unfairly also. Right? They said, for our father have sold us. How did Jacob sell them? Laban sell them. For they were given to Jacob as payment, folks, in the beginning. Remember? For his service. Right. Remember? For his service. Jacob worked for what? What did Jacob do? Jacob worked for Rachel first, and then he worked for Leah, right? Right. I mean, he worked for Rachel, really. So he worked, how many years he worked for them? 14?
14 years total.
That's why they said, for our father sold us. Go to Genesis 29 real quick. Read verse 15. 15. 15. Genesis 29, real fast.
This is Genesis 29, verse 15. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? You see, what shall thy wages be, right? So basically, we know what happened, right?
And Laban, I'm going to read verse 16. And Laban had two daughters, right? And the elder name was Leah and the younger Rachel. And Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve these 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than I should give. See, it is better that I give her to thee. You see? This is then that I should give her to another man, abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her. So he served, how many years he served for her? 7 years. Let's go back now. In fact, let's read verse 27. Hold on, Genesis 29, verse 27. Let's jump down to verse 27. Read verse 27 real quick, Timothy. Genesis 29. Verse 27.
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
7 other years. Because when you read the stories, and Jacob said to Laban, give me my wife. And then Laban gathered together all the men in the place and made a feast. And it came to pass in the evening, right? Now he took Leah, the daughter, and brought her to him, and he went into her. But he thought he was sleeping with Rachel because Laban tricked him. Laban has always been a man of deceit, folks. And Laban gave into his daughter Leah, Zipporah. We know the story, right? Let's jump to verse 25. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, what is this you have done to me? Did not I serve you for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? You tricked me, Laban. And Laban said, it is must not be so done in my country to give the younger before the firstborn. Now let's go back. Now you see why. Let's go back to Genesis 31. Now you see why Leah and Rachel said, our father sold us to you, and we got nothing out of it. We had got nothing out of it. So now they're agreeing with Jacob. Let's go back. Read verse 15 one more time. Genesis 31. We're almost done, cool now. Genesis 31, verse 15.
Verse 15. Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and have quite devoured also our money.
You see? Our money. You see that? So basically they said our father sold us, for they were given to Jacob as payment, folks, in the beginning, as I just showed you in Genesis 29. Right? Now, Abraham's servant gave gold, folks. Abraham's servant gave gold. When Abraham sent his servant to who? When Abraham sent his servant to who? To get Rebekah, to bring back Rebekah for Isaac to be Isaac's wife. What did Abraham's servant give them? What did he give Rachel? Let's go see real quick. Let's go to Genesis 24. Genesis 24. What did Abraham's servant give Rachel? I'm sorry, not Rachel. Rebekah. Let's go to Genesis 24 real quick here. Timothy. Genesis 24.
Verse, my brother.
Most High bless Moshe.
Let me get that real quick. Genesis 24. I think it's going to be 53. Read verse 50 real quick. Verse 50. 50.
Okay. Let me get there. Verse 50. This is Genesis chapter 24, verse 50. Then Laban and Bethuel answered and said, the thing proceeded from Yahweh. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Verse 51.
No, that's okay.
Behold.
Okay, that's okay. Read verse 53. I want to get to the point. Verse 53. Look what Abraham's servant gave Rebekah, in which Laban did not even do to his own daughters. Go ahead and read.
Verse 53. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. And
gave them to who?
Rebekah.
Gave them to Rebekah. Abraham said, give these gifts to Rebekah. See, Abraham paid for Rebekah. He compensated her. Also, he treated her good, gave her gold, even before she went back to be Isaac's wife. But Laban did not do that, though, to his own daughters. Let's go back. Are you hearing me, Qanath?
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Are y'all folks out there hearing me? Are you hearing your brother Yehuda? Abraham was a righteous man. Abraham was a righteous man and sent gold with his servants to give Rebekah. But here you got Laban, this wicked bastard deceiver, greedy, and try to get over and wouldn't even pay his own daughters. All right, let's go back now. So basically, so the gifts had become Jacob's. Basically, his was going on. His was going on, right? Let me back up a little bit here. So Abraham's servant gave gold, right, of dowry to Rebekah for agreeing to become Isaac's wife, folks. And Laban gave his daughters nothing as gifts to become Jacob's wives. He didn't give them nothing. That's why they say we were sold. We were sold to Jacob. That's why they said it. Right? So Laban did not give them nothing to soothe their hearts. And they said, and our father has devoured also our money. That's what they said, because Jacob, two wives, they naturally agreed with their husband, right? And declared that they had no longer any part or any inheritance in their father Laban's house, because Laban did not treat them like daughters, but sold them like strangers and eaten their money. Right? That's why they said, and our father also devoured our money. But our father mistreated you, right? Our father mistreated us, right? Or mistreated you too, Jacob. So when their father mistreated Jacob, it affected them and Jacob's sons.
Yep. It affected his whole house.
It affected everybody.
Yep.
Read verse 16, Genesis 31, verse 16. Look what Rachel and Leah continue to tell Jacob.
Verse 16. For all the riches which Yahweh hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children.
You see? Because it affected us too. By our father treating you bad, Jacob, it affected us and it affected our sons. Yep. So for all the riches, they said again, for all the riches which God has taken from our father, because how he treated you and treated us, Jacob, that is ours also and our children, Jacob, because how he treated you also affect our sons, Jacob. So whatever God has said unto thee, do. We got your back, Jacob. We agree with you. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Loud and clear.
They're gonna say it too.
Huh? Basically, folks, if your boss,
they're gonna say it.
Right. If your boss at your job, folks, mistreat you and not pay you your correct wages, would it not affect your family, Qanath?
It sure will.
Right? It was the same thing with Jacob and Laban. Unjustly dealt with him, right? The way Laban unjustly dealt with Jacob, which was sad in a way, because Jacob was a righteous man. So when it came to his wages, not only affected Jacob, but his wives, Rachel and Leah, and their sons, folks. Okay, Timothy, read verse 17.
Verse 17. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels.
Set them on camels, Qanath. Read verse 18.
Verse 18. He carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had got. The cattle of his getting, which he had gotten.
Go ahead.
In Padan, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan.
Jacob accumulated. Well, now watch this, Qanath. This is how we kill these dudes too with a 12 tribe chart. God made Jacob's flock increase abundantly, right, Qanath? When Jacob left with all this cattle, hundreds of cattle and camels, who helped the cattle go across the waters, Qanath? His sons, Reuben and Levi and Judah, all his big sons, his grown-ass sons. They helped Jacob guide the cattle across the waters, folks.
Right. No, they took ships, brother, when they done that part too. But they forgot to put that in there.
Yeah, they took cruise ships.
Are you hearing your brother Yehuda?
Yeah, you.
All that cattle had to go across the water. That was guided. Don't men guide cattle, Qanath? Don't you have to guide them jokers to lead them in the right direction?
Yep.
So who was guiding those cattle across the Euphrates? Reuben, Levi, Simeon, Judah, all his big sons. Who was sitting on the camels? The wise and the small kids, the smaller sons like Joseph. I think Gad was. I think Dan might have been a teenager at the time. No, Dan was small. Gad probably was like a teenager. So all the smaller kids, they sat on the camels. All the all Jacob grown sons, all of Jacob. I'm sorry, Timothy. One last thing, I'll let you talk, Timothy. All the Jacob's grown sons, they walked they guided the sheep and cattle across the waters.
Good.
Go ahead, Timothy.
No, I had went back a few times. I didn't know y'all could hear me when I was saying that. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because I was looking at the sons that they had before, like Dan, Issachar, Zebulun, then Joseph. Like these, like the youngest boys.
Right, that was small. Right, like Dan, Issachar at this time. Exactly. At that time, Dan and Issachar was there. There was probably little boys at that time. And then the ones like Naphtali, Gad, them, there was probably like teenagers. Because at this time, Reuben was growing out. There was grown men. They was probably late 20s or something. There was grown men. I know because we just read that Reuben was working in the field and brought back the mandrakes.
Yep.
Because remember, they said when Jacob left Laban, he was about 90 years old, folks.
Hey, let me say something real quick, bro. This came to me. The Bible speaks straightforward a lot of times, and sometimes the Bible deals with metaphors and being symbolic. And I'm gonna give you a couple of verses to understand that. Like the Most High call us sheep. We're not no physical sheep,
right?
You know what I mean. We're not no physical sheep. But the way these guys understand the Bible, they want you to go around and start saying bah, bah. Right? According to them, you should be walking around saying bah, right? Because he say woe unto the shepherd and leave my sheep astray. Right? So a woe to the pastors, right? And he called them shepherds. Right. We're not no physical sheep. You know, a lot of stuff in the Bible is symbolic, you know, or metaphors and so on, you know, because when Yehuda finish up, I'm going to go on, if y'all don't mind, I just need like 8 verses I need y'all to read for me real quick, and I want to show something, because this whole thing, man, that these guys are doing, I was told today, I had a guy make a video on me, tomorrow, you can see this guy don't know the Bible because I didn't answer something the way he wanted me to answer it. It just really... just surprising, man. But yeah, go ahead. You go ahead and finish up.
Okay. Read read verse 19. 31.
Verse 19. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's.
Now you know why Rachel stole the images. She said, "I'm taking something." The way my father treated me all these years, I'm taking something out of his house, and I'm going to take something that he liked, the images. So she took it. She took those images. Read verse 20.
Verse 20. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled.
He did not tell him he fled. Read verse 21.
Verse 21. So he fled with all that he had. And he rose up and passed over the river.
Wait a minute. He passed over the Euphrates with all that cattle and camels?
Passed over the river.
All that. Listen, he had hundreds of cattle, bro. And are those goats and sheep? Are they tall, Qanath, or are they small?
The goats and sheep. Goats and sheep are short.
They're short. Yeah. He passed over the river, all that cattle.
Some of the sheep and goat, man, they barely come over your knee.
Thank you.
Barely come over your knee.
God multiplied.
I haven't seen that one sheep or goat that comes to the hip.
Right. Thank you. And guess what, Qanath? God multiplied his cattle exceedingly. He had a lot of cattle. A lot. And they walked across the Euphrates. Read verse 22.
Verse 22. And it was told Laban on the 3rd day that Jacob was fled.
3 days went by, and 2 days went by, and Laban did not even know that Jacob fled with his sons and his wives, etc., and cattle. Read verse 23.
Verse 23. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey.
A wicked ass bastard had deceived Jacob all these years and got the damn nerve to pursue after Jacob. Isn't that something? Go ahead. Go ahead.
And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead.
And overtook him. He pursued after Jacob. Just as God had Israel spoil the Egyptians and gave them gold, the Egyptians also pursued after Israel.
Hold tight, Elite. Good. Hey, Yehuda, real quick. I just want to say that I'm reading a comment board, and I hope this person can come on when we finish. Elite Perfumes, and I pray that you're being upfront with us. It says, I'm here in Saudi Arabia. I am Jamaican though. They got a tribe called Gabe Nakwa, if I'm saying it right, and that is an Israelite tribe. Are they black? I just want to know, are they black? Can you please put if they're black or do they look Asian or Hispanic? Are they black? But go ahead, you. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So Laban, excuse me, that's okay, Qanath. Laban pursued after Jacob and his sons and everybody, right? So just as God had Israel spoil the Egyptians and gave them gold, the Egyptians also pursued. Just as Laban pursued after Jacob, the Egyptians also pursued after Israel, folks. So Laban pursued Jacob after God used Jacob to spoil him of cattle, just as the Egyptians used God used the Egyptians, right? And they went after he hardened Pharaoh's heart, and they went after who did they go after? They went after the Israelites, right? And after Israel spoiled the Egyptians of gold. The same thing, right? The Egyptians spoiled. The Israelites spoiled the Egyptians, left them without no gold and all that. Just took all that stuff from them. And Jacob did the same thing, right? The Egyptians went after the Israelites. Laban went after Jacob. In fact, go to Exodus real quick, right? The book of Exodus. Timothy. The book of Exodus 14 and read verse 8. Exodus 14 verse 8, Timothy.
14 verse 8.
So just as Laban went after Jacob, the Egyptians went after Israel. Go ahead.
And Yahweh hardened the heart of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel.
Read verse 10. Jump down verse after that. Read verse 10. After you finish verse 8, verse 10.
And the children of Israel went out with a high hand. Verse 10. And when Pharaoh drew,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them, and they were sore afraid.
Verse 17. Read verse 17. After you finish verse 10, jump to verse 17.
Okay. And the children of Israel cried out unto Yahweh. Verse 17. And behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they shall follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh.
You see? Read verse 23. One more verse. Verse 23.
Verse 23. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea.
They pursued them, Timothy.
And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea.
That's good. Let me read Genesis 31:23 one more time. And he took his brethren with him, meaning Laban, and pursued after Jacob. So the exact same thing happened to the Egyptians. The Israelites spoiled the Egyptians, just as Jacob spoiled Laban. Laban went after Jacob, just as the Egyptians went after the Israelites. I just want to bring that out to show people. So now after God increased the spotted and speckled cattle among all the flock, and then he revealed to Jacob in a dream, as we just showed you, right? And in fact, Qanath, I really got it. I don't have to really go into no more, man. I proved it.
It's good. You already did it. Let's let me land me back.
Now I'm done. I'm pretty much done. I got more, but I'm pretty much done. I have nothing more. I can go into other things, but I don't need to.
No, you don't need to.
It's not talking about
it's
no color.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Hey, look, Elite Perfume. Hey, Salim or Star, can y'all put my email in the room? Elite Perfumes. I want you to email me because some of the information I kind of heard some of this stuff before. I do have notes on it in a few videos I watched, but sound like you might be really into that. So I like to talk with you, dialogue with you on that. So look, let me get into it now real quick if y'all don't mind. Check this out. I need somebody to get me Jeremiah 12th chapter and read 7 through 9, and I need somebody to give me Isaiah 1st chapter, and we're gonna read 4 through 6. Jeremiah first.
I get Isaiah 4. You said Isaiah 4 what?
Isaiah chapter 1, and we're gonna read verse 4, 5, and 6.
I get that for you.
Which one is Jeremiah?
I need Jeremiah chapter 12. We're gonna read 7 through 9. Because people got well, not people. The teaching is, because I already broke this down on Jeremiah, but I want to try to hit it from another angle. Same thing like you just did with this. Symbolic, man. We're not no birds, right? It's a speckled bird. We're not a bird. And spot and blemish and all that, right? It has different meanings, right? It don't necessarily have anything to do with race, right? Oh, Israel is this or Israel is that. So give me Jeremiah first. The first, give me that one first. And read it.
Jeremiah 12, verse 7. I have forsaken mine house, I have left mine heritage. I have given the dearly beloved of my soul into the hand of the enemies.
Now stop. It says key word, 2 key words. Inheritance. I have forsaken my house. I have left my inheritance. Right? Another key word. Her enemies. Right? Just like we read in Hosea. Right? 7th chapter. We done classes on that. Right? We start following other customs and not being straight like the Most High wants us to be. I'm going to prove this. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. Mine heritage is also, it's like my heritage is unto me as a lion in the forest.
There we go again. Heritage. Verse 7, verse 8. The Most High wanted this thing said twice so far. Read verse 9.
Verse 9. Mine heritage is unto me as a speckled bird.
See that? That don't mean we speckled bird and we look different colors. Let's talk about the heritage. Okay, the heritage.
The same thing, exactly, Qanath. The same thing that Rachel and Leah complained about their father. With their heritage. The same
heritage.
Thing. Exactly.
It ain't got a damn thing to do with that. Finish read 9.
The birds round about are against her.
Now hold on, stop. It said the birds round about her. Those are the other nations, right? Philosophies in the other nations are against us, and we becoming like them. You're not a speckled bird. The birds round about. These are nations and other people.
Exactly. It's called reading comprehension.
Right? Come on, man. The birds, it says, my heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her.
Are the other nations. That's exactly
what the other nations of people. Give me that Isaiah. Yes, sir.
So the word as is really like a being used as a word to use as comparison, right?
A metaphor, exactly. It's like a metaphor comparison. Yep.
Let me Isaiah chapter 1. And Timothy, you give me Deuteronomy 32, Deuteronomy 32, 4 and 5. Go ahead, Yehuda.
Isaiah 1 and verse 1.
Isaiah 1 start from 4 through 6.
4 to 6. Okay. Excuse me. It says here, our sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken the Lord and have provoked the Holy One of Israel into anger. They are gone away backward. Why should ye be stricken anymore? That's a question. Ye will revolt more and more, and and the whole head is sick.
And the whole head is sick, the whole body, the whole nation. Go ahead.
The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. Verse 6. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and it's a putrefying and so it says and sources. Oh no, and so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me start over. And putrefying sores, they have not been closed. See, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment.
Right.
Verse 7.
Go ahead.
Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence, and it is a desolate, as overthrown by strangers. Verse 8. And the daughter of Zion is.
No, that's good. That's good. Verse 7, the last part, it says, and it is desolate as overthrown by strangers. I'm gonna go back. Hold that, Timothy. I'm gonna go back to Jeremiah 12 and I'm gonna read verse 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about her are against her. Come ye assemble, all the beasts of the field come to devour. Right? Verse 11. They have made it desolate, and being desolate, right? So the other nations have made symbolically us desolate in the mind, right? Destroyed our nation because we're falling after other customs, right? Falling other gods, right? So that's what that's talking about there. Give me Deuteronomy real quick.
One more time. Break this down. One more time. That's the witness one more time to what you just read. One more time. Isaiah 1 and 7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence. And it is desolate, as overthrown by strangers.
There we go.
Go ahead.
There we go. So that's the heritage, right? Not nothing with a speckled bird. We look different colors and all that shit. No,
we done did a metamorphosis.
Right. This talking about we you'll see unclean. Watch this. Read Deuteronomy 32, 4 and 5 for me real quick, please.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 4. He is the rock. His work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment.
4 and 5. I'm sorry, 4 and 5.
Huh?
Read verse 5 too, Slav.
Yeah. Where was it?
I'm sorry.
A God of truth and without iniquity. Just and right is he. Verse 5. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation.
He said the spot is not the spot of his children. Right? This is talking about an unclean people, an unclean nation. Right? But Christ he's not spotted or blemished. He said the spot, read that again. And give me Psalms of Solomon 4 and 7. Go ahead.
They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children.
Right.
They are a perverse and crooked nation.
Right.
So the spot must be talking about their actions and the way they carry themselves, right?
Exactly, brother. Exactly. Read Psalms of Solomon 4 and 7 and Ephesians 5, 26 and 27.
Which one you want me to get out?
Psalms of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7, and then Ephesians chapter 5, 26 and 27. Where we get it? I only got like 4 or 5 more verses. Them done. You still there? This don't have anything to do. Now, when we read in Leviticus, I was going to read that in Leviticus, it talks about.
Turn out, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
I have froze. I'm sorry. What you want again? Songs of Solomon.
Songs of Solomon, chapter 4, verse 7, and Ephesians chapter 5, 26 and 27.
I got Songs of Solomon 4:7 right here.
Go ahead.
Solomon chapter 4, verse 7. Right? It says, "Thou art all fear, my love. It said, my love, there is no spot in thee."
There is no spot in me, meaning pure. Right? This is not talking about somebody's skin complexion, anything like that. We know some talk about beauty and all that, right? But pure-hearted, love, right? Give me Ephesians chapter 5, 26 and 27.
I'm still trying to get that out of my bag. You said chapter what again?
Ephesians chapter 5, verse 26 and 27. And then first Timothy.
I got it. Ephesians 5, 26 and 27.
Yes, sir.
That he might satisfy and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, verse 27, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
And without blemish. So these niggas telling you you're a spotted bird or you're speckled, then they telling you that you're living in sin and you're unclean, right? And they basically saying to be spotted and speckled is good, right? But Christ don't want that, right? He don't want that. This don't have a damn thing to do with skin color. Read verse 27 again.
Exactly. I want to lamb on that. And also them talking about you guys being tears. They basically said that you're the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah. They call you niggas the devil.
Right. Right.
Okay, one more time you say?
Yeah, verse 27 one more time. This is Christ talking about building his church.
Ephesians 5 and 27. That he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
That it should be holy and without blemish. See, we all spotted and speckled. We blemish, brother. That's why we different colors. We got a lot of y'all cake in church.
And listen, not only a different color, but did a complete metamorphosis.
A metamorphosis, right? Give me 1 Timothy 6 and 14.
Nation.
Yep. Man, this is 1 Timothy 6 and 7 and Hebrews 9 and 14.
I mean, the whole DNA change, our bone structure change. We became short people, big heads. It's ridiculous. That's like saying a snake turned into an elephant. I mean, this morphed into a whole goddamn different people. Excuse my French.
A frog got wings now. He don't need to hop. He can just fly away. Ribbit, and fly away. Get the hell out of here, man. Give me 1 Timothy 6 and 14 and Hebrews 9 and 14.
I get Hebrews for you.
Okay, 6 and 14.
Yes, sir.
This is 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 14. That thou keep this commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So you got to be clean, unrebukable, because you won't get rebuked.
Right.
Right? You can't rebuke. Can't be rebuked if you follow Christ, right? Meaning no spot. Right? No speckle. No blemish.
Exactly.
No prick unturned. No cattle. We all cattle. We mixed up like the cattle.
Confusion, bro.
Read that again and then give me Hebrews. Read that one more time.
Thou keep his commandment without spot, unrebukable, until the appearing of our Lord Jesus Christ.
So you want to be spotted and blemished when he get here, then you're going to be rebuked. You're going to be rebuked. You want to be unrebukable. Give me go ahead, Yehuda, Hebrews 9:14, and then
Hebrews 9:14.
1 Peter 1:19. Go ahead, Yehuda.
Hebrews 9:14. It reads, "For much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God." But it says one more time, without spot to God.
See that?
I need my glasses. Hold on, let me go get my glasses, man.
That's all right. Right? So you don't want to be spotted and blemished, because we can go in Leviticus, and I can do it if brothers want to. We could talk about what it means to have spot and speckle inside the skin. Right? Inside the skin. We could talk about that, and I just might do that. Now, give me 1 Peter 1:19. Yeah, 1 Peter 1:19. Read that for me, brother.
This is 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 19.
Yeah, I'm back.
But with the precious blood of Christ as a lamb without blemish and without spot.
That means without sin. He was spotless. So how in the hell could he come through the nuts of a sinful man like Joseph?
Woo-oo! Give me 2 Peter 3:14.
2 Peter
chapter 3, verse 14.
You said what chapter? What 3?
Yeah,
I
chapter
got
3
you.
and 14.
I got you.
Go ahead.
So, verse 14. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot, and blameless.
And blameless. Without spot and blameless.
Like Jacob.
These Negroes telling you that you're a speckled and spotted bird, and your cake got flipped, and you Genesis 30 and 31, meaning mixed race. If you're going to go to when Christ comes, you're going to be spotted and blemished, right? And go get rebuked, right? The scripture talk about now you need to be retaught, right? But y'all want to hate on us. This is love. Read that part again. Then I'm going to show y'all something too. Read that again.
Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
And without spot and blameless. Okay. Now I have a book here. All right. I have a book here. And like I said, when I got my books today, I forgot I had this book. Right? How old is this book? This book, man, how old is this book? This book is 1938.
1938. Okay. What is the title?
They wrote in clay, right? They wrote in clay, right? Oh, now, guess what? This book got pictures of the Assyrians, and the Phoenicians.
And it was black.
And they were black. Of course, and they got pictures of live people. When they was taking the pictures, the people over there were black.
Those black. And guess who else was called Assyrian, Qanath?
Who's that?
Jacob. Our forefather, Jacob.
Right. So let me show y'all a picture or two. This is a weathered statue of an Assyrian deity.
You see that?
See that?
Man, I can't wait.
I'll let you read it yourself.
I can't wait till we do our slideshow, bro.
let me make this big real quick, man. Make this thing big.
When we do our slideshow, Qanath,
it's gonna be awesome, brother.
Oh man, when I bring all my information and books, and you Shashan bring his information, and we all link up and do our slideshow like we said we're gonna do. Look at that.
Check it. I'm not finished, right? These are the people when the so-called white man was digging up this place by the Nile, talking about the Babylonian period, all of this stuff. This book right here, I might just have my wife. This is a little thin book. Might just have my wife one day read the whole book and we show the pictures. But here go the people. Black people.
You see that?
Okay?
Get around that, Dick.
Over there, right? Show a few more things here. Right? Here, the god Ashur, A-S-H-U-R, emerged from the winged sun disc in this symbol, right? So these are these people, they was worshiping these people, but guess what? They were black over there. They go more stuff they put in the clay. Braided beard and braided hair.
You see that?
Braided beard and braided hair. Black people, braided beard and braided hair.
Bro.
Hold on.
Hey, Qanath.
Not quite.
Hey, Qanath, put me on a small screen.
Okay.
That's also an Assyrian. You see that? That's also an ancient Assyrian right there.
That's right.
A black man.
A black man. Yehuda, let me.
That looks like the same thing that Qanath just pulled. He just showed.
Look here. This right here is Assyrian. What's this word? Secretaries. Assyrian secretaries. Right? Watch this. I'm gonna make it bigger for y'all can see this. These are Assyrians, right? And guess what? They got on fringes. At least they tell us they're Assyrians, but they got on fringes.
You see that?
Braided hair. Okay. Well, a couple more. Wait a minute, put it back so we all get in there. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. Y'all just don't. But I hope y'all not. I hope this end of the thing on being spotted and speckled and cow and bird and all this. And people just make. Oh, let me make one more comment too. Yep, there we go.
You did that?
Make one more comment. I gotta make a comment. I said I was gonna leave it alone, and I'm gonna leave it alone. I gotta make a comment because, yeah, okay. I'll make a big screen now.
That's a black Northern Kingdom Jew right there. I'm telling you, folks, when we do our slideshow, it's gonna be something else, bro. Cause I got books on top of books.
Shows you 5%. We haven't even showed 5%. Trust me. Okay, now this goes into the right.
Does it look like a Hispanic to you?
No,
or
sir.
Mexican?
Let me address this. This don't have nothing to do with us, or I would say any people that believe Israel is all black at all. I watched a video where supposedly some people were shot at, right? Supposedly. I don't know if it's true or not, but let me say this. To try to say Negroes that believe Negro doctrine, this brother come out believing Negro doctrine. That's why I shot at him, because they believe in Israel being all Negro. So now they're trying to bring up to say, guess what? These guys are so desperate they will even shoot at you. But I'm gonna tell y'all something, and I'm gonna say this.
Yeah, which is nonsense.
Watch this, Yehuda, and I want y'all to put on y'all thinking caps. And I'm surprised all you so-called leaders ain't saying shit.
Ain't saying a damn word.
Ain't saying that, because the black man goes through enough hell for they already making us like everybody's supposed to be scared of us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Right? You walk past, they lock the doors. The police don't tell you put your hands up, they just shoot. Right? Because this stigma put out the black man is so violent and so crazy. So now here this guy that put out Negroes that believe Israelites, that's Negroes but believe Israel is all Negro, they violent now. They violent. One individual, and now he's going to put a broad paintbrush over everybody that believes Israel is all black.
But you know what? That's what white see. That's like I told you before. That's what happens, because that's the white side of him. That's that white blood running through his veins. You see, He's like a George Zimmerman. You understand? Right. See, we keep forgetting his mom is white. So his mother generation was white people. So that's the white side of him. Don't forget his
watch this. Watch this.
Go ahead.
Watch this. A lie don't change. Listen to me. A lie does not change. If somebody says a lie and get away with it, they'll use the same damn lie. The same lie. Like with the brother Qanath, they said, we thought he had a gun in the bag, right? So they pushed him down, roughed him up, right? But guess what? He never had no gun.
And on top of that,
about that, but I'm gonna show you how a lie never changed. Watch this.
Go ahead.
The first time, or at least we think the first time, where the video is when Gorilla Hebrew pushed somebody. You saw in the video where he actually pushed this guy, and then they all went to jumping the guy. He laid hands on the guy first, but he's trying to switch the narrative like they being attacked. The guy was in my space. If you're out there teaching and you're worried about somebody in your space, then you don't need to be out there because they're going to be in your space. They've been in our space many times. But guess what? Gorilla Hebrew threw the first punch and pushed the guy is in the video. Second time in Tennessee. I'm not talking about Assad that hit Qanath. Gorilla Hebrew hit the brother. Pushed the brother the ball. He said it in the video. Yeah, the brother called me a manager, so I pushed him. That's the second time he put hands on a person. And the same thing what he do? Pushed. He pushed them. That's the second time. The third time when he said he got shot at, he said the guy came and put his finger all in one brother's face and on his nose. And then he said, if y'all can believe this shit, that the guy was with his wife. And he said, yeah, and the guy put his finger on my nose. He said he didn't do that right away. And he said he just kept on and put his finger on his nose. If y'all believe that shit. But here we go.
Which we know is some white boy shit.
You know that's a damn lie. But here we go.
That's that white boy.
He got shot at. And I'm glad nobody got hurt. You know,
that's white boy shit.
But so then he said he pushed the guy. And he said, I pushed him. Maybe that would make him think you don't want to do this. So he pushed him 3 times in a row. He putting his hands on people first, and he pushed them 3 times. But then he say, see, that's that Negro only shit. That's that Negro only shit. Where's the video? He said the police came to them and say, look, we got it all on tape. I ain't never seen a police officer come to me, if anything or anybody, and show you evidence. That shit is wrapped up, bagged, right? That shit is wrapped and bagged until they investigate. They don't come showing you a goddamn thing.
Nope. I told you, it's that white boy shit, bro.
They don't come showing you shit. Hey, look, this what happened.
Exactly.
Right? And then he say, well, I'm not going to go into it further. Man, if somebody shoot at me and we out there videotaping, the guy that put his hand in somebody else's face, that put it in their face and start shooting, like I said, God forbid, I'm glad, because Qanath don't think like this. F.O.P.E don't think like this. We don't want to see nobody get killed. But if shit happens, it happens. Right? Because the Most High gonna have vengeance. I'm glad nobody got hurt. But he said that this guy will go around approaching people on Negro doctrine. But out of nowhere, now all these people that he has in his camp, he going around putting his finger on people's nose. He said, little short guy too. And he said he put his finger on my nose like this. So I'm like,
right. A short guy now. But he's put his finger
on his
nose, but he's short. I'm telling you, that's the white boy George Zimmerman Bush. That's the white side of him. Hear me, folks. Here's your brother Yehuda. Good folks. That is the white side of him.
It's sad, bro. It's sad because now they actually say, yeah, I heard seeing comments about, yeah, I want to be strapped up. You know, and next time people know, don't come approach us. We gonna act first. right? Just like he tried to say when Yehuda cut them in the scripture, talking about they was gangs. If you can remember that, Yehuda could bring it back out. Talking about they was gangs back in the day. That wasn't even talking about no Israelites.
Oh yeah. When he talk about when Jacob and his sons first migrated to Egypt, that they went down there as gangs. Then they went down there as thugs to plunder Egypt as gangs. I was like, what the hell is this cracker talking about? What is this cracker talking about?
Esau, the white man turned his spirit his spirit turned to white.
Right. Another thing, right. His spirit turned to white, turned Esau white.
You know, only reason why I spoke on that, man, because that's dangerous, brother, when he started talking about Negro only starting violence. One guy that we supposed to believe him. This the same guy that had an ass over, right? But he don't want to listen to nobody, but he's put out a protocol talking about this what y'all cats need to do. You need to protect. Now, you got Israel so-called guys since 1969. This one guy that got in fights in the last 3 years, and he's the first one putting his hands on people, pushing people.
Yeah, because he's a cracker, Qanath. He's a cracker. That's his white side of him. That's the white boy blood flowing through his veins, man.
I just don't understand, man. Here's the thing. Anybody want to follow him, y'all go right on ahead, bro, because Satan got to have his angels too. You know, but it's unfortunate that men want to rule over men like that. That dude, Vocab Malone, said, oh, your phone froze? Okay. Vocab Malone asked them guys a question. How he getting his money? They say, well, we pay him through Cash App. And then the guy say, well, do he paying it? He said, yeah, he pay out his own Cash App. Like you said, he taking money for y'all and paying himself. That shit don't make sense. And I don't care.
Right.
I really don't care what they give him, how much money he get. Right. I don't give a damn.
Right.
I'm just thinking of the mentality of our people, man.
Listen, he's taking, real quick enough. He's taking money, tithes from these niggas, and he don't work, taking their money, right? Then you're talking about, well, I put money in myself. But wait a minute, what money you putting in? You putting in the same money that these niggas giving you. the money that they giving him, he's putting the money right back in.
Hey brother, I gotta look.
You tell me our people is that damn stupid, but they can't see what's going on.
Brother, this is sick. I'm gonna tell you something. For a bunch of Negroes that was cheering him on, it was like 7 elder people watching that video talking about Negro only, right? Trying to assassinate him. Assassinate us. Listen, you got a certain name, somebody attempted murder or kill. Assassinate someone, to use that word, is somebody that's an official, somebody of high status. Right? So when they come to him, if somebody try to kill him, they trying to assassinate him.
Somebody who has somebody who has been planning to kill somebody. That's what the word assassination means.
Right, planning.
Exactly.
Planning. I'm gonna come up there. I'm gonna do it quietly or whatever. That's planning to kill somebody. And second, this is dangerous. I'm gonna tell you why. Look at all the shit that black people go through, man. And been going through since we've been here. And now this man is putting out a dirty spell on Negroes, on black people, talking about you got to watch out for people that just believe Israel is black. Be prepared to do this. Be prepared to protect yourself. Next time that you might just get it. That's gang talk, right? And that's now, if you what he trying to say, if you think you Negro only, then don't approach us. And I tell people, don't approach these guys, man. I never ever send nobody to nobody camp. For what? We doing good right here on this YouTube.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? For what?
Reaching more people.
And reaching more people. See, the street teaching, that's what they want to do. That's what they want to do. But guess what? It's a new age. That's like going around trying to pass out flyers and shit for a party. You can just go, you can do shit, Instagram, all that.
But wait a minute,
technology.
But wait a minute, the gospel say that Christ's voice was never heard in the street. He was not on the damn streets.
I think that's dangerous though, man. When I heard that, I was like, are you serious? We as black men, this shit, listen, bro, this sounds like some COINTELPRO to me, bro, because now by him saying that, that's gonna make the government and everybody think that these guys going around carrying guns and violent. Y'all don't see through this shit. He is basically saying that black men, because if you Negro only, then you're just gonna be all black men.
Right. And also, I want to say something too, Lemmy, on that. If you Negro only, there's something wrong with that, folks. Or you can't be all black, folks. Like Jacob and his sons, they was all black. When they went to Egypt, they came out by the thousands, all black. But oh no, there's something wrong with being black, all black. Israel can't be all black. You know why? Because he's a half white boy. That's why he hated it. That's why he hate that, Qanath.
Man, this shit's sick, bro. When I looked at it, I was like, wow, unbelievable. And you had a whole bunch of Negroes on there agreeing. And don't you know he's basically telling the government that if all the black people hang together, they dangerous, they'll shoot you. And y'all don't see through this shit? Y'all don't see through it?
Well, you know what God said about his people, right? He said they're childish people. He said God said his people are stupid people.
Man, this shit. When I saw that, bro. See, when they get mad, Yehuda, when we big up our own people, right? They get mad about that shit, right? Look, they get mad at this. I'm gonna show you something, right? Because I said Israel, I said we second to none and F the world, right? They get mad when I show shit like this, man. Check this out.
right.
They get mad when I show shit like this. Check it out, brothers and sisters. Check this out.
Ain't no Mexicans.
Like look at it.
Ain't no Hispanics up there running like that. Is it Qanath? Where the Mexicans at running? Where they at?
But I guess that's Job Issachar and all them running
right, exactly. But that's something wrong. There's something wrong with being all black, though. Something wrong with being all black.
Yeah, something wrong with being all black.
Yeah, we can't be all black.
Man, I saw that shit. I'm like, bro, this shit right here, man. This is getting on my. Hey, look, and one more. I'm gonna show another one. They get mad when I show shit like this, right? Who got this swag but us? Oh, so-called swag. Check this one out, Yehuda. Brothers and sisters, then we're gonna get off here. Check this one out. Look at that. Bye. Come on, man. Stop hating. Just stop hating, man. We the most beautiful people on the earth. We the most intelligent people on the earth. The Most High gave this book to us to teach the world, right? We the most creative people on the earth. We the strongest on the earth. We the wisest on the earth. We have the strongest genes on the earth. We are small G gods. Come on, man. So stop it. And coming up soon, we're gonna do a class on the mysteries of Christ. And we're going to do probably another week or two because we're going to nail this. We're going to do a class on the priests, right? Because I want to know how people could sacrifice or do anything without the priest. That's what I was about to go into, but I'll say that for another class.
Right.
You guys say you want to say Yehuda because we're gonna be out.
That's it for me, man. I say grace and peace. But as everybody know, Laban, the cattle of Laban and Jacob, do not have nothing to do with how people look.
Nothing. Speckled bird ain't got a damn thing to do with it, right? You want to talk about the skin, right? Leopards and all that. I was about to go in there, but we don't need to. So I hope we prove that, man. You know, hey, you still got your Bible?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, read that last verse one more time. 2 Peter 3 and 14.
All right, hold on. Let me get there real quick.
This is what we will end it on this verse. And also at 7 o'clock, at 6:19, at 7 o'clock, we coming back on live with Malachi Maccabees. We coming back. Hold on, brother. Yeah, 7 o'clock, we coming back live with the brother Malachi and the family. So hold on a second, I'll make sure. Yeah, read 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14. We'll close out on that. Yep.
Hold on a second. I went to 2 Peter. Hold on. I thought you said second. You said 2 Timothy. Where's 2 Timothy? Did I overlook it? Okay, hold on. I'm almost there. I got you. All right, hold on. 2 Timothy, and what chapter? You on mute.
2 Timothy 3:14.
2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 14. It says here, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them. That's it.
I'm sorry, Slocket. 2 Peter 3:14. That's what I wanted to say. 2 Peter. You're right, Tim. 2 Peter 3:14. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. The phone ring.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. 2 Peter what?
3:14.
Okay. It says we're here. 2 Peter. Oh, I mean 1 Peter. My bad. Hold on.
Not no liquor or wine, Negroes. Cranberry juice.
2 Peter 3. What? One more time.
2 Peter chapter 3, verse 14.
3:14. It says here. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless.
Without spot and blameless. You know, my brother just called me down. The brothers down in St. Louis. My brother Nathaniel. I can't remember the first name. It lose me real quick. I don't know why, but Nathaniel. He told me this morning. We was on the phone this morning. That his cousin that got shot, and he just called me.
Damn.
He just called me when I went on mute. Just called me that his cousin died. So yeah, man. So let's pray for the brother, for his family. Let's pray for the brother that passed. Let's pray the Most High had mercy on him. That he's in rest with in King David bosom. That he's on the right hand side of Sheol. Abraham. That he's on the right hand side of Abraham bosom. And that the Most High has given him peace. And the scriptures say that the scripture says that he's going to have mercy on us. So let's pray the Most High show him mercy. You know, he's gone now, but let's pray to hope that he has a long life to live in the kingdom of the Most High. And brothers, we send out our condolences to you and your family and the brothers and sisters down there in y'all assembly. Y'all stay strong. You know, at the end of the day, we go over scripture and stuff like that, man. But like we always say, man, you just never know when you're going to die, bro. You just never know when you're going to die. So you could die healthy, you could die sick. You just don't know.
Exactly.
You know? So
exactly. So
I'm sorry to hear that, brother.
Yeah, that's
damn.
My condolences go to the brother too, man. But that's why, folks, you have to make sure you get this thing right while you're still breathing, because once you take that last breath and you leave this earth, with false doctrines, ain't no coming back. Ain't no more forgiveness. Nothing. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, brother. All right, let me call my brothers up, man. 7 o'clock, Laban Star, everybody. Y'all do not want it. Might be 7 or 7:30. Y'all do not want to miss this because this the brother. This is St. Louis, Malachi Maccabees. He's going to answer all questions because I'm not quite sure the whole teaching, but they're teaching that we're supposed to eat vegetables and I believe not meat. So we're going to let him explain himself and other questions that people want to ask about that and anything. He says he's willing to come over here and answer all questions. And I know that, brother. He's going to answer. So come on, brothers, just come on the show and let's be edified. If he's wrong, he's wrong. If he's right, he's right. My whole thing is I haven't watched all the videos. What is the sin in eating vegetables? You know, so if they try to live a healthy life, okay. If it's something else they're talking about, then I'm just going to, this is the open platform, you know, and y'all can come on and question him. You know, that's what it's going to be about. All right, so Most High bless y'all. All right, Yehuda, I'm sure you probably come back on today later on yourself. So Most High bless all of y'all. Oh, no, you got to go to work.
No. I don't go to work till tomorrow night. But for the most part, I'm going to tune in myself. I'm not sure if I'm going to come on, but I definitely be tuning in.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm gonna go through these books tomorrow. You know, Yehuda, man, I got to find that map too, bro.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man. Map,
hey, look, Yehuda gonna be coming down. I'm gonna be coming up, so we can start doing more presentations together.
Yep.
And live shows together, side by side, not side by side on the screen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Let's try to share it too with other brothers. Yep. So Most High bless y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the lesson. Now y'all know, man, Laban and Jacob, what that story really meant, right? Specklebird, what that really meant, right? So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. Most High bless. Get them likes up. Most High bless.
Shalom.